right, we're power washing this truck and it is super windy. Welcome to the video. Well, that definitely looks like a bit more rust once it's all piled up like that. Good old frame here. Is she a donor or is she scrap? Let's see. What is up today, YouTube? It is a friggin' cold and windy day out, and it's just like, yeah, trying to be summer, but it's not there yet. But anyways, we are out here at the yard right now, kind of hiding away from the wind so it doesn't get all picked up on the camera. But today I want to look at a frame that we have here that could be a perfect donor frame for the old truck 65, the truck that I learned to drive in, the truck that is right now off the road because its frame's not in the best condition. So we have one sitting here that also isn't obviously perfect, but it is definitely a lot better. It's a lot thicker, it's a lot more heavy duty, but there's a lot of rust chips on it. So today I kind of want to take it, pull it out, pull it off the grass, and give it a power wash, and then see what's actually there. If I can blow a hole through it, then it's pretty much I'm not going to use it, and it can go to scrap like it always was gonna. But if I can't blow a hole through it and it's nice and decent and strong, then we'll take a bit closer look at it and see if it's good to swap over to underneath that truck. I'd like to do a couple other things to it just to make it look kind of cool, kind of just a spare truck, nothing crazy, but yeah, definitely don't want to see it go anywhere, and definitely don't want to see it just sit in the yard for the rest of its days. So anyways, without further ado, let's go have a look at this frame. Well, I thought Al was going to be here to get the big GMC out of the way, but this is basically what we are looking at right now. Like, it is, you know, that's just paint really, but it's pretty bad. It's been sitting for quite some time, but it hasn't been blown off yet, so we'll see what's under it. Obviously I'd be taking these ramps off. What I'd like to do is build the same ramps I have for my truck that kind of come right up to the fifth wheel, especially if it's going to be like a hookup and preload kind of truck, like you're gonna be dropping trailers loaded and hooking up the trailers and yada yada yada. Anyways, it would be sweet to build those kind of ramps for it, just kind of like my truck has. But yeah, it's got the double frame, and obviously it's pushing out as they all do. It's really not that bad there, which is actually surprising, because usually right here it gets like really thick, like on this old girl. That's old 359, you can see it's really pushed out like that and really pushed out. But this one's actually still pretty together. I mean, that's a lot older of a truck than this truck is, but anyways, that's what my plan is. Obviously it needs a lot of new bolts, and yeah, it's very tough shape, but it is a lot thicker of metal than what's underneath old truck 65 right now, so it could definitely still work. But like, look at this, chunks just falling out everywhere. It is obviously very tough, and I will be wearing safety glasses when I do this. Like I said, if I can blow a hole through it, then she's going to the scrap metal as it was before. But if I can't, and it's still actually relatively solid, then maybe we'll use it for something. Like if you look at these holes, like that's a lot of, that's thick right there. That's a lot, but I mean, it's obviously gone in quite a bit, but it is still pretty thick of a frame. So we shall see. I'd like to take the bunk off it, put it on a skid, keep it, because this bunk's actually in super good condition. Did not really realize how good a condition this bunk is actually in until I started looking at some bunks, and it is definitely in pretty good condition. So unlike this frame and unlike this cab, so I'd like to take the cab off, keep it just for parts. I'd like to take the bunk off, keep it for, you know, something like my truck someday, because this bunk is too nice of a bunk to put on that old red truck, because that old red truck is pretty scabby itself, but it's still a piece of history of my life. Wow, yeah, that's so, she might not be as good as I want it to be, but we'll see. For a spare truck that's just going up and down the road occasionally, as long as it doesn't have any big cracks or anything crazy, that's all we're really looking for. Alright, so what I'm gonna have to do is get that big tractor that's sitting right there, just like we've done years and years ago to pull this big blue beast out of here. I'll hook her up to the front and get her yanked out. I'd like to take these off soon, just to yeah, we got a bird's nest back there. I'll hook a chain around here, just yank up on it and drag her out. Get all the grease and oil off all this stuff, and yeah, it's just, I don't think it's ever been blown off in its life ever, so yeah. But it's definitely better than the Swiss cheese frame that's going on that truck right now. Look at that, eh? Wow. Not ideal, not ideal. But if you took everything off it, stripped it all down, you could clean this frame right up and make it look definitely plenty good. You definitely could. You definitely could. It's there. It just needs a lot of love. But nothing wrong with that. All right. Well, I've got to go to the Legion for some trivia. Hopefully we'll do some winning. Probably not. But all right. We'll come back after that and get this thing pulled out and blow her off a little bit and yeah, see what we're working with. Maybe we can go take a look at the frame on the red truck real quick. Just show you how it is. Because this frame's definitely nice and thick compared to it. Good old truck 65. I first started driving, well, before I even really knew exactly how to, you know, really shift up and down the tree, like going down the road, pulling the trailer, all that stuff. I'd take this truck, I'd drive up and down this road, down to the neighbors, come back, turn around, all that stuff. So it's definitely a historic piece. And it used to obviously have the stripes on the front, but you can't really remake that since these are all hand painted. That was all hand painted. Used to have a whole bunch of trucks that were all hand painted. Miss those days, but we put a double frame clip in this thing a couple years ago. And then back here where it also had those ramps like that other truck has, it rotted it out nice and thin, so that's obviously no good. There's a couple more thin spots as well. It's really not the worst, but it's just not the greatest, and it's not getting any better. So to pull everything off it and then fix that, it's just not really worth doing. But if we can take that frame and clean it all up and make it real nice, and then this frame's good to go underneath the cab here where the stacks start, and then cut that, and then add it back there. Maybe even make it a little longer, which would be cool because we have no stretched trucks. All we have is 244, which is what you really want for hauling trains around here and stuff. But yeah, it would just be cool to have one truck that is our spare truck that no one really uses except for preloading and whatever, and then have it, you know, just like, you know, just one back would be nice. So these two wheels would be back one. It look real good. And then tiny little bunk and tiny little tanks and a whole bunch of frame rail. And she'd be a perfect little truck to take down to Louisville, put her in the working truck part, because that's what she is. There's an old working girl. Yeah, she needs a little loving. But this big bunk on here kind of makes it a pain when you're washing to actually like get any of the frame. So all those years in between the cab and the bunk just kind of don't really get the best wash. So. And then definitely with the big bat wings on, when you have a trailer on and it comes up to like here, too much of a wash down in there or up in there because you're already rubbing up against that. So yeah, I was like, let's day cab it, but driving day cabs kind of, it's not the most fun thing in the world. So anyways, that is the plan. I'm gonna go see if I can make this frame over there work or not. I was looking at this one frame and it was basically in the same condition, and I would have had to get it home from an hour away. So I said, screw it, let's just see if I can make this one work and get her all nice and cleaned up and get her slapped under that beautiful red truck someday. But we'll see. It's obviously a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of money, but projects are fun, and that frame is going to go to the scrap anyway, so why not make it useful if it is useful. All right, everybody, to the Legion we go. All right, and we are here. Let's go do some winning. Phones in the basket. Woo! What a
not down.
Bye, 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 bye.
Well, that was
weird.
Not okay with me. Should have been first, got third. Way she goes. And we're back. No victory at the Legion this time, but we got a big third place, same as last time. All right, let's go work on that truck outside, buddy. Let's go. The cat's like, no, I am not following you out here. It is cold and windy and still not a very nice day out. But we're gonna fire up this tractor quick and pull this frame just onto the concrete there, the asphalt, and then give her a little blow off of all its rust, and then clean up all that rust and take a look at what we got left. Oh yeah, good friggin' tractor. All right. Okie dokie. The old plan is hook a chain through there, hook a chain around there, just kind of pull up and out. Should roll on out of here. If it doesn't, I'll save it for another day. But it should. All I want to do is get it onto here so I can broom everything up when I'm done. Alright, let's grab a chain off the back here and see what we can do. So obviously, realistically, I should go to the other side. Maybe I still can, but there's all this steering box here, which I don't really want to mess with. I'd rather grab over there where there's not really anything, and then just lift it up and out. So I'll have a gander at doing that first. Alrighty, we're gonna move this right over to here, so I can just grab right around there. Nothing really in the way, except for just the frame itself. Couple airlines that don't really mean anything, but then I don't have a whole lot of room to back up and pull straight out, so it should actually work out better doing it this way. Well, we've got it all chained up, wrapped it around there twice, everything will tighten up, and then it should be enough to get it up and out. So let's give her a try. And we are out. Just wanted to get it on here so all the rust that falls off I can easily sweep up. That worked out pretty alright. Now I'm gonna unchain it and yeah, we'll stretch the old power washer out here, blow off what we can, and then she'll be going right back to where she came from, in her little home. And we are unhooked from the big rig. And one more quick look now that she's out of the grass. Get this piece of wood and put her up there or something. Get everything nice and cleaned off. So she's rusty, she's oily, it's had parts stripped off it. It's gravelly, apparently. It's everything you don't want to see, like that brake chamber hanging on the ground. Probably where that came from. But we're gonna see what's left of her. And yeah. The old girl. Hopefully she holds good. That's why I pulled it up here, so I can really see what comes off it. The old bird's nest looks pretty empty. Not really bird's nest season right now anyway. All right, let's go stretch that big old hose out here. I don't know what this little guy's doing on there. That's not right. There's the long wand we're looking for. Keep all this rust out of my face. But I'll do that after I get most of the rust off this. Time to go get those safety glasses on, because this could hurt a bit. Well, I know a couple people didn't like the not so safe with the no mask on, but we got some brand new safety glasses on today. Ain't taking no chances of ruining the eyes. All right, time to go. Let's see what we got here. Woo! There's a lot of stuff falling off of there. So as you can see, we got quite a bit of stuff out here off the truck. Dirty, rusty, paint chips, all the good stuff. Lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff. Now we're about to hit some of this algae off, some of this oily stuff off in there, get some of that gravel off. That wind's about to pick right up, blowing all of it right back at me. Camera's getting hit. Reeks of hub oil or something. Oh, look at that. Not nice and clean. All right, let's clean that off. And holy, you are covered in water. Gotta be delicate. There's so much like metal. I want to scratch the old lens up. All right, the lens is all that matters. Let's carry on, shall we? $3.59 for the old tripod. Yeah, you bet. Well, it certainly is not getting any nicer out here. I almost think it's probably gonna start raining. Howdy, neighbor. So, I think I'm just gonna blow it off just once with this. It's getting basically everything I need to see off. The rest I'll take with a rust hammer someday. I don't even know if you can hear me, but we're gonna finish this off real quick before the weather gets any worse. Well, I am soaking wet from doing that. The wind was all blowing this way. I spent most of my time on that side of the truck. But oh well, that's the way she goes. Gonna blow off the front one more quick time now that it's all dried up and some stuff's falling down, because I didn't really get in between there too well. Not that the front's really all that important, because probably won't even be using this part of the frame. It's more or less from underneath the cab back that'll be using, but there's lots of stuff on the ground. It definitely let out a lot of stuff, so we'll have a quick look in a sec. But yeah, I'm just gonna give her a couple finishing touches. Uh-oh. Ooh. That better not be a scratch. Well, I definitely didn't want to look back and see my camera face down on the ground, but I guess that's just the way she went. Anyways, it is getting windier, and we are getting pretty much done. And look at all that stuff on the ground underneath this truck. There is a lot of it. So, I'm going to let the wind hit this for just a bit, and then we'll have a look. Maybe I'll even bring out the rust hammer and give her a couple taps. But yeah, it looks not too bad from right now, but a lot of stuff definitely came off it. There's no doubt about that. Safety glasses are back on. Dark clouds just rolled in. Managed to get a thumbnail with that tiniest little bit of sunlight was out. Things are kind of starting to dry up since it is so windy. And, you know, it looks like a rusty old frame. Obviously things like this still need to come off. And that's when you're gonna find a hole, once you're chipping with one of these puppies. But you also might not find one. Oh, yeah, so you might not find one at the same time. Like right here. Those are big chunks. Yeah, those are big chunks. Ow. So, ow. It obviously needs a lot of this banging with the rust hammer. Check things out for sure. The water only does so much. But, yeah. So you basically go at it with this for a while and then take the water back to it and see what else will blast off. I thought a lot of these chips would actually come off a lot easier than this, so the water did do a pretty good job, but so you missed something like that. That just falls right off. I could have hit that harder with the water, but that's why you go through with this. Check out all your spots, like that. Oh yeah, there's plenty it didn't get. But this rust hammer deal, that's a job for another day. That's a loud, annoying job. Perfect for out here in old Mother Nature's big shop. Yeah. Though I haven't hit a hole through yet. So that's pretty good. Yeah, there's lots of rust, lots of rot. It is definitely not great shape. Look at that just coming off. Oh boy. All right, before I put a rust chip through the camera, we'll just keep walking around and having a look. All this stuff out here actually came out pretty good. A couple spots like this here. Spots like this. Obviously need chipped at and chipped off and check them all out, make sure there's nothing, no big rot. And then, yeah, you strip out all the bolts you're gonna take out. And then since there'd be the time to do it, since it's just a spare truck, get the old Bondo down everything on the outside and make her nice and smooth again. Like I said, it's not a big highway truck I'd be building anyway, just to be something for maybe preloading a couple loads and going to truck shows with. Pulling the old camper. It's the camper truck. Look at that, eh? Sad, but the frame is thick enough that it's still strong. So we started taking some real good care of it now. Holy wind. What's up, neighbor? All right. It's getting like too windy to film apparently. But I would say it is looking about 7 out of 10, maybe a 6.5. But I thought I would chip a hole with this thing. But obviously I'm not gonna in that double frame spot. But right here, you definitely could. And I haven't yet, so. But like I said, that's another job for another day. That all looks pretty not bad. Obviously can't really look up in there too well with the bunk still on. I'd like to take the bunk off someday and really give this a good clean. But everything looks not too bad. Not much different than most of the trucks out there, you know. They've all got this little bit of rust. It's just whether you take care of it or not. This is just a thing for the fender, so wasn't too worried about getting any rust off of it. But like that all looks pretty good. Pretty solid, pretty complete. I couldn't really get up in there super well. Once the bunk comes off, I can obviously do that a bit better. And the cab. Then up front here, this is the shock that fell off. Get that back up on there. But up here was pretty clean too. A lot of just paint. Some rust for sure, obviously, as you can see on the ground. And engine oil from when it had an engine. All that stuff, but yeah. Not too shabby for an old frame, I'd say. It could definitely be a lot worse, and like I said, it is super thick, like real thick frame. So it'd be nice if we could use up to at least here for the stretch, make her a little long of a truck, because not too many people would be driving it, and it'd be a nice little piece different than what we got. So anyways, everybody, I think I might just get out of the wind to do the outro. Let's slide this thing back in and have a look at the ground real quick and see what mess I get to clean up tomorrow, because might as well let her all dry. Maybe we'll give her a try when everything's all wet. All right, let's go grab a forklift, have a little push party. Thanks, old hammer. You've outdone yourself once again. And we'll come on out, bring the forklift, and put her away, because I don't think we'll need this big beast just to roll her backwards. But thanks, old friend. Alright. Come on, baby. Yeah, you want her. Working on some big units in here this weekend. Well, there's two ways to do this. Either just push on her and let her start rolling backwards, which we're probably going to try first. Well, we're rolling somewhere. Let's see if we're rolling in the right direction here. Yeah, we should go straight back and in. Well, if we're gonna hit a house truck, we might as well get it on video, so back we go. Uh-oh. And here is our aftermath. Definitely quite a bit of rust chips, a couple of hoses, bird's nest, a lot of paint, a lot of oil, a couple nuts and bolts, a little bit of everything. But it looks way better, and it looks definitely usable as a donor frame for the old truck 65. All right, everybody, time to roll that outro. Well, it's been another fun video, another random one, that's for sure. We got that frame blown off, a couple ideas of what we could do in the future. I got a big mess to clean up. It is NASCAR Sunday right now, so everyone will probably be watching that and not watching me, but I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you're always subscribed for more. Make sure you leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the frame, or maybe you've worked on some frames or you've bondoed a frame before and you can let me know any tips or tricks on that. Anyways, everybody, I appreciate you watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.